What's up, Digidestins? This is Kyle D, better known as RideMyAvatar, and today we're going to probably talk about one of the most worst sets that was ever printed for an EX collection. Without further ado, let's dive into it. Before we go too crazy, remember, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and comment down below if you're telling me I'm an idiot and that this set is just game-changing in every capacity. But let's get into it. First off, the reason why I'm saying this set is not that great is that this is on EX level 1 of most effects and stuff like that for a collection. This set could have just came out 2 sets ago for like EX collection 2, and they would have been probably fine and done something in the meta. But I feel like a lot of this stuff is not going to be meta defining, and a lot of it is just not doing much. So let's take a look at it. First off, we have Medieval Gallantmon. So security, play this card without battling and without playing its memory cost. Return this Digimon to its owner's hand at the end of the turn. Why make it bounce back to hand? I get it, they didn't want to have another, Zwart defeat coming out, but why bounce it back to hand? Like, give it a couple turns to swing in or something like that, and then bounce it at the end of the second turn, at the end of your opponent's next turn, bounce it, then it would be really decent. At least get it a turn of swinging or something like that. But on play, when attacking, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 6,000 DP or less. If no Digimon is deleted by this effect, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, and that Digimon cannot unsuspend during your opponent's next unsuspend phase. So this card has potential to be really decent, but even in a Gallantmon deck, you're maybe splashing this at a 1 to maybe 2 of, because, again, this card really doesn't do much for Gallantmon. It's a security bounce Digimon that just comes out to say hi, and even in green doesn't really want to touch this because it doesn't do much. It can remove a threat, maybe, and then it just locks it down. Maybe for a full turn. Like, it just skips the undefense phase. It's not like a complete lockdown like Sama de Santi, where it makes sense to make it like that. If you're going to be committing and having that, it should have just been a full lockdown for a full rotation, and that would have probably made the card better. Feels like the card is very underwhelming and doesn't do much, and it takes up a super rare slot, to be honest with you. I think it's the only reason why it's a super rare is because it has the security effect, and they couldn't just say we're going to put this on a rare. Maybe eventually we'll see these on rare effects, but I mean, the on play when attacking is decent, but this is just basically a glorified rare at most times. Then we do have Crest Garurumon taking up slot. So, you can Digivolve on top of Were Garurumon, but you're also putting this in a bricky deck to actually achieve this. And what do I mean by bricky? If you don't see one of the pieces in the first couple seconds of the turn, you're not climbing up like a madman. There are just, and then your opponent, once you stop and then you have to pass turn, your opponent's just going to punish you for it. If they can remove it very easily, yes, it's going to be fun days ahead. But when Digimon activate one of the effects below, choose any number of your opponent's Digimon whose play cost adds up to 6 or less. Return the chosen Digimon to the bottom of its owner's deck. I'm going to be honest with you. Unless this thing is just by itself and you didn't have a stack ready, you are never using that first effect. Why am I saying that? Is because you're forced to either use effect 2 or effect 3. So effect 2 is DNA Digivolve this Digimon and one of your other Digimon in play with a Digievolution cost in your hand for the cost. So what does that mean? Well, you're forced to Jogress at the end of turn. Why didn't they just put that at the bottom of the stack at one of the rookies or champions or something like that as an inheritable that would instantly just make it 10 times better? But it's now struggling because now you have a very decent first effect, but you're never going to use it because there's no point. You may also Digivolve one of your other Digimon in play into a level 6 or lower card with Greymon in its name from your hand without playing its memory cost. Okay, well, that's the other effect. if you have another stack, you need to climb up, matching it at the same pace to finally get there. Well, it might not always happen. Sometimes you're missing a piece in the mid of the chain, and then you can't just zigzag climb. And that's the problem. If you do not see anything within the first couple turns, you're kind of screwed. And then when attacking once per turn, if this Digimon has Omnimon in its name, return one of your opponent's level 5 or lower Digimon to the bottom of its owner's deck. This card is decent, but it's just a waste of a super rare slot that basically is just Dino Beamon and Imperial Dramon that did something. That does the same exact thing from EX-3. But they just basically put it on a... They put added one more effect and then another inheritable, a decent inheritable. So they're like, yeah, this is a super rare. No, this should have been in just a fancy rare, to be honest with you. Opening the slots up for better super rares. But that's just another thing. Then we have like Blitz Greymon here. So when Digivolving, activate one of the effects below. Digivolve 3 of your opponent's Digimon. Cool. Never going to use it. Why? Unless the stack is just by itself, you are never using it. Then, DNA Digivolve one of your other Digimon in play. This Digimon can't form a card with in your hand. Same thing. You may Digivolve one of your other Digimon in play into a level 6 Digimon with Garurumon its name in your hand without playing its memory cost. 2 effects you are mandated to basically to do if you're going to be climbing up, and that's the problem. How are you going to be able to do all this and then not be choked out by your opponent, climb up to Magic Christmas Land, and then basically just go all the way here? And then when attacking once per turn, if this Digimon has Omnimon in its name, trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. So, really at this point, the inheritables are what you want, but at the same time, Alter-S doesn't do anything that's going to make this easier. So you have to climb up zigzag pattern, and you're still not achieving much here. You're losing out on effects because you can't just instantly climb up to the Mega unless you're already ahead. And then you could semi-do that, but then you're still wanting the DNA Digivolve at the end of the turn. So now you're kind of just in a weird spot. Then we have Omnimon Alter-S. So this gets for blue and a red, by the way. It's not even splashing the black as an option. So these cards could have just been blue and red, but they had to make it so it's zigzagged, you know, the best colors in the world to be, and that was to be black so that they could universal. But when Digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 8,000 DP or less, then return one of your opponent's level 6 or higher Digimon to the bottom of its owner's deck. All turns when this Digimon would lead play except by one of your effects, play one Blitz and or Crest Garurumon from its Digi-Evolution cards without paying its memory cost, then place this card at the bottom of your security stack face down. Great, you got a big boss Digimon for free recovery. If it actually matters. Again, you have to get to this card, and unless they make the secret that is revolving around this, be able to make Crest Garurumon and Blitz Greymon just joggers from hand, I mean, this deck is just really bricky at times, and you're going to just feel it. It feels like you're playing Imperial Dramon Jagras that just doesn't do much at the certain point, and it just doesn't break the game because you still have to get the pieces in your graveyard to climb up properly. And if your opponent survives the turn and then just can instantly kill the thing, or just not give a flying rats, that's the problem. Like, it doesn't really do anything that's just going to make your opponent just sad. You can remove threats, yes, but if they have something in raising that just comes out and just goes like, yeah, we don't really care, that's a big problem. Then we have Kazuna. This card treats itself as Sukuyamon. This card is probably one of the very few playable cards in the set that just help the sources. When Digivolving, you may use one option card with a cost of 5 or less from your hand without playing its memory cost. Really awesome. You gave, Maid Mode another option here. Your turn, when you use an option card with a cost 2 or more, you may play one Tomon or one yellow or blue level 4 or lower Digimon from its Digi-Evolution cards without paying its memory cost. This is just glorified a Metal Garurumon BT1, the one that just literally played a 4 or lower from its source to spit out something, but it just can play Tomon now. It's like, okay, did we really need this? No. but apparently we needed this for the Sakuyamon deck. The option playing ability, giving you another maid mode kind of situation, really decent. But outside of that, I don't think this is going to change much of the format. And then, let's get into the last couple ones. We have Z Garurumon. When Digivolving, return one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon to their hand. If your opponent has 8 or more cards in their hand, return one of your opponent's level 6 or higher to their hand. So, conditioning on your opponent, but all turns, once per turn, when your opponent's hand increases by effect. If you have a Tamer in play, return one opposing level 3 Digimon to their hand. So basically, if they have to do a searcher, you get to bounce it to their hand so they can just replay it and just go like, okay, you just gave me free plus value. It's not like it's bottom decking it where it makes more sense to put it, because if they're just going to hard play it, I mean, if it passes turn, sure, that just sucked. They just negged there. But they're just going to re-slam it back down, or they're going to use it in the raising area in a couple turns, depending on situation. You just gave them back their rookie where you prefer it to just die. So, I mean, bouncing it is just terrible in my opinion. And then we have Victory Greymon, who's just a wannabe Gallantmon support that just decided to be Victory Greymon, apparently. When Digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 6,000 DP or less. For each of your opponent's Digimon with 2,000, add 2,000 DP to the max DP of this deletion effect. Oh, cool. So basically, you want to play the Growlmon stuff from EX, the X antibody stuff, because that combos extremely well with this card, because now that 6,000 DP can climb up faster than it used to now, which is huge. And then all turns, when your opponent's Digimon is deleted, if you have a Tamer, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the highest DP. Wow. So if you pop something, you get another free deletion. Nasty. So just they're decent, but like this is possibly one of the only other few playable cards, and it's not even like it's gonna be played in many decks. It's just like, okay, the deck doesn't have a top end. What are we gonna do? Well, we can splash this into something. That's just how these cards feel right now, is like they're splashable. And then finally, the last card we're gonna talk about is you know, this card here. This is probably the last super. Like, they covered it up to be cheeky, but let's be honest, this is the last super. Black Mega Gargomon. So Digivolves for 4 on a 2-color green, or Rapidmon in its name, level 5. End of turn, until the end of your opponent's turn, 2 of your green or black Digimon gains blocker and reboot. Nice. Why didn't it just gain evade? I think the reboot is the problem here. You have other ways of giving this thing your reboot. I prefer to probably give it evade so it can survive something. All turns once return, when another Digimon is suspended, you may unsuspend this Digimon. So it's conditional that you have to, you know, use it. But why doesn't it have a Renkei? Like, this is the Renkei set and a line set, and it just doesn't have that. And, you know, let's be honest, the alliance is here for Black Rapidmon. You Digivolve 1 and you have alliance. Like, why isn't this thing having alliance? Unless there's another super rare that I don't know of, but this is like the only green card in the set that is just pure in its green line. Well, starting color green, the rest are mixed with green as a splash. And it's like, how? And then, like, if you take a look at it, you do have like the Cherubimons that use Renkei, the Alliance / Renkei, and they're just rares. So it's like, why? Why does the rares have it, but the one super rare in the set doesn't have Renkei, but it has Renkei in its ultimate line? It's like, why does this not have that? And it's like, really? Just a waste of slots. And then, like, probably the most hype cards I'm looking at right now are 2 commons. And that's Trident Gaia and Full Metal Blaze. Delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the highest DP. If the effect, delete an opponent's Digimon with 13,000 DP or higher. Trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. Activate this main effect. So, this thing in Security Cons is going to be nasty. Cool. Red Security Cons coming back. Full strength, because this card is just stupid broken. I mean, it deletes a 13 or higher, but everybody, by the time they start swinging now, they're not swinging with rookies, they're swinging with 13 or higher. So this is basically popping that way. Or, you know, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the highest DP. So you're deleting anything. So this is Gaia Force better. And then you have Full Metal Blaze. Return 2 of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon to their owner's hand. Then, if your opponent has 8 or more cards in their hand, return a level 6 or higher to the bottom of your opponent's deck. Oh, cool. At least I removed the 6 from the game. But, you know, I still have to use this for a level 4 or lower. And it's an 8 cost. But Full Metal Blaze is halfway more decent than anything else in the set. That's just me. What do you guys think of this set? Do you think this is just a skip set? I feel like this is a skip set. You just get the singles and, you know, ask your friends that are opening the set just to pass you bulk at this point, because the bulk is just cheaper than anything. I mean, this set's not going to break banks. This, unless Alter B and Shine Greymon Burst Mode does something in the secret rare slots and they break the game, everything else is just going to be dirt cheap. This is probably going to be the secret set, is just what the secret set is. So guys, what do you think of this? Let me know down in the comments. Do you objectify any of these comments, or do you have something better to say about these cards and you're like, you're just being crazy or something like that? So guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Let me know down in the comments and I'll catch you next one. Peace.